Welcome back to the bunker in Downsview Parc. You are watching a ToRD TV production live here in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. I am the Derby Nerd.
I am Captain Lou Albamo, and we've got a barn burner. It's 92-61 for the home team CN Power over the Queen City Roller Girls out of Buffalo, New York, Lake Effect Furies.
Pretty high scoring bout so far.
Yeah, some scoring updates on who's putting the points on the boards for their team. Bikini Wax picked up 42 points in the first half.
Impressive after she had a 17-point jam at one point as well.
Jam, yep. Ruby Revenge picked up 10, and BJ Armstrong picked up 9 herself. Over on CN Power, you've got Bambi with 26, Candy Crossbones with a strong 48 points, including a 20-point jam herself, and Defa Caitlin with 18 points.
So again, yeah, Candy Crossbones, as you mentioned, really having a strong game. She thrives in these physical battles, loves the physical test. It did get her a major penalty at one point in the first half on a major back block because she sometimes gets a little overzealous and loves taking those hits. But for the most part, it was a pretty disciplined first half for these two teams. Lake Effect Furies, as you've mentioned, do have a tendency to rack up some penalties.
They do.
But right now, only no skaters in too much danger. Just one skater has 3 trips to the box, and that is Busty Pipes. Number 90, 3 trips to the box, and she's also sitting on 3 minors right now. And she's the only one really in any trouble at all. Rose C'est La Vie has 3 minors right now, but she's not in too much danger fouling out. And for CN Power, Bambi, Nasher, Lady Gaga, Dinah all starting this half, sitting on 3 minors, and Marmite and Hoser have gone to the box 3 times.
And it looks like we're about to get the second half underway. We're going to have Bikini Wax facing off against Defa Caitlin.
So Bikini Wax, the leading scorer of this game so far for the Furies. And we're going to start with a 4-3 pack advantage for CN Power. The Furies had a nice pushback at the end of that first half to pull within 31 points.
Wearing the stripe for CN Power looks to be Rebel Rocket. CN Power taking a knee, and we've got lip service on the Lake Effect Furies wearing the stripe as the pivot.
And Dinah Hercha now, Rebel Rocket working to hold Wax to the inside, and Defa Caitlin is your lead jammer.
CN Power with lead jammer. Bikini Wax hung up on the back.
And Dinah Hercha very nicely recycling the jammer, then quickly moving on to offense and helping Defa Caitlin through for 5 points.
Quick 5 points for Defa Caitlin. Bikini Wax still having trouble at the back. That strong pack by CN Power holding her there.
CN Power will need to shut down Bikini Wax if they hope to get back in this game, or to keep control of this game, I should say.
Lip service with a little hip pushing Defa Caitlin out of bounds, trying to hold her. She's the last line of defense now. Defa Caitlin calls it off. 4 more points.
Lip service having a very strong game, number 360 in black for Queen City out of Buffalo. Phenomenal one-on-one positional blocker.
Lip service was an alt before this game started, so I think they made a smart move putting her in.
And you are seeing an empty penalty box right now. Although, sorry, it is a 4-3. There is one Lake Effect Furies in the penalty box.
Someone's in the box. Candy Crossbones versus Ruby Revenge.
Candy Crossbones going around the outside, but runs into a wall of black at front, wall of pink at the back.
Crossbones picking up where she left off in the first half, getting lead jammer, fighting her way through that pack with relative ease.
And CN Power coming out with some really strong defense to start this second half. Lake Effect Furies had kind of taken the momentum away to end the first half, but CN Power is responding well right now. Candy Crossbones scoring. And our Rose C'est La Vie, yeah, nice blocking also.
And Candy Crossbones unable to hear her bench, does not call it off in time. Nasher the Slasher getting a big hit in on Ruby Revenge. Ruby is through for 3 points. And Candy Crossbones gets 3 as well, so that jam is a wash, 3 points aside.
3-3.
One of the stories of the first half was that CN Power did get lead jammer 15 times to Lake Effect Furies 2, so.
Yeah, that's an amazing statistic, and with that statistic, it's lucky that the score isn't a bigger differential than it is. So Lake Effect Furies obviously defending well and making sure to get their jammer through as well.
Looks like we have Bikini Wax out again against Bambi.
4-4 packs. It's 5-on-5 derby right now. CN Power holding the back of the pack.
And it looks like Queen City has gone to a higher level of rotation for their top jammer, which makes sense as they need to catch up. Rubber Rocket pushing her out at the back. Bambi pushing through at the front. That's an out-of-play chop. Bambi is lead jammer.
And lip service being sent to the penalty box for not allowing Bambi to go. So that's going to be a 4-3 pack advantage now for CN Power and one of the best Lake Effect Fury blockers in the box.
Bikini Wax getting hung up on Dinah Urcha. Big hit. Dinah goes down hard, and she's getting sent off for a high block.
Dinah Urcha and Pantyhose are both going to the box. So this is when CN Power ran into some trouble in the first half, is when they did lose the back advantage. Last line of defense cut.
Looks like there may have been a communication error on that. Bikini Wax thought that she was being waved back onto the track by her jammer. Ref D- came straight back on. Unfortunately, the result of that is she cut the entire pack, and she did pick up a major.
There will be an eventual.
Currently, no jammer on. Bambi finally getting released from the box. CN Power now starting a power jam.
And they do have an isolated blocker now in the back, but nice, again, work by Lake Effect Furies to break that.
Bikini Wax out of the box after her short trip, just like Bambi had there. She just had to serve an equal amount of time after she popped Bambi out of the pack. Bambi does pick up 5 points.
No lead jammer on this jam right now, and there is 22 seconds left to play. Lots
CN
of Lake
Power
Effect
protecting their points at the front.
Lots of Lake Effect Furies at the back. But it is a tough wall. Bambi trying to beat lip service on the outside, cannot do it.
Bambi picks up a minor cut, getting past lip service, but also picks up a bunch of points as she cruises through. Time runs out.
Looks like 3 all on that pass.
Yeah, definitely 3 more points, and looked like Bambi picked up another cutting the track minor. So
1:12:66, 5 minutes in.
46-point lead. The CN Power, not the largest lead they've had all game, but they are starting to widen the gap in the first 5 minutes of the second half.
That's right, this
And
is,
we are
exactly
occupying the jammer line.
They are, but no one is taking a knee. But there is an official timeout.
Looks like Shocker has come over and sent Dinah Urcha to the penalty box. Penny Whistler explaining what the issue is to her and to the coaches.
Captain Defa Caitlin listening in with His Unholiness the Reverend Ramirez as Penny Whistler explains. So Dinah Urcha is sitting on 4 minors.
Well, this is Defa Caitlin's first game as captain for the
CN
CN Power. It's correct. She's replacing the missing Brimstone, who has taken a leave of absence for the moment.
And Defa Caitlin is experienced. She was captain of the Gorgo Roller Girls for 4 years, their first 4 years in Toronto Roller Derby. So an experienced leader. She's been on CN Power since the start. Back in 2008 when this team played their first game.
And looks like 90 Degree Johnson, I believe the head NSO of the game, is coming over to figure out what's happening. He's definitely the penalty wrangler anyways.
Big thank you to all of our NSOs.
People in pink make it very easy for us to run this game. Without them, we wouldn't be able to have this bout.
That's right. So every time, as you're watching at home, every time you see one of those pink shirts, just yell out a big cheer in your living room.
Yeah, pink shirts need love.
So still working. It looks like it is some confusion over the penalties, but Dinah Urcha will be heading to the box.
Again, we mentioned earlier that it's been a very busy day in the land of roller derby. You had over 120 other bouts being played around the world tonight. In Ontario, you have down in New Hamburg, Tri-City Queen of the Hill tournament with the TKOs facing off against the Vicious Dishes and the Venus Flytramps. In Brantford, the Bells of the Brawl are facing off against the Roller Jets. And in Windsor, the Border Brawlers will be facing the Royal City Roller Girls from Guelph, Our Ladies of Pain. That happens to be my home league right now, so I'm hoping Our Ladies of Pain have brought the pain to Windsor.
Yeah, some amazing action. Of course, some amazing action happening out west as well.
which you can also see on Canuck Derby TV. Flat Track Fever going on in Calgary, featuring 12 women's teams, plus I believe there's at least 4 men's team, and there's some junior derby going on.
Yeah, it's an amazing tournament for them to have out west.
It's sort of a variation on the Beast of the East. I hope to see it become an annual event. It's nice to see all those teams getting a chance to play each other in shortened games, but getting lots of bouts in, lots of cross-learning by playing teams you never would get to play normally.
That's right, and we are, since you mentioned the Beast of the East, we are a week away from the Beast of the East. You can catch all of that live on Canuck Derby TV, and you get to listen to Captain Lou and I call those games for you as well.
That happens to be one of the highlights of my year. I have missed only the very first Beast of the East, only because I had not been involved with roller derby at all at that point. As soon as I found out about it, I was there. I book my calendar every year around this time in April.
It was actually that first Beast of the East. That was the first time I'd ever heard about roller derby. I was living in Montreal at the time, just moved there, and first heard about it, and ended up getting out for their season opener that year, and haven't stopped since.
And strange enough, everyone involved in this game will be at Beast of the East, even though Queen City is not participating in the tournament. They will be playing Friday night against Montreal's new Skids on the Block. So that'll be the opening excitement bonus that everyone gets before Beast really gets underway at 8 o'clock in the morning, I believe, on Saturday.
We'll be there live for the first game, and it's going to be a doozy, the first game, too. The Chicks Ahoy taking on the defending champion Slaughter Daughters. Could
potentially be a final matchup if it's worthy of a final matchup. I'm not sure they can actually meet in the finals according to the schedule,
But so if you need a reason to get up at 8 a.m. on Saturday, if this is not a good enough reason, then there is no good reason for you to.
Totally worth it. Looks like we're ready to get the jam underway. Bambi in pink for CN Power on the jammer line. BJ Armstrong taking the black for the Lake Effect Furies, and BJ Armstrong pounding her way through the pack, getting lead jammer.
Yeah, and really Queen City popping up out of this timeout with a lot of fight, and Defa Caitlin now being held way in the back.
Vagina Warrior dragging Defa Caitlin all the way to the back.
Oh, a nice job by Jubilee, though. A last-minute hit to pull Harm all the way to the back.
No pack situation. Pack is reformed. Vagina Warrior. No! Vagina Warrior knocked Defa Caitlin out. Defa Caitlin thinking that she could get a free pass. Came back in ahead, cutting the lead foremost jammer, foremost blocker.
And
going to the box.
Unfortunately, Defa Caitlin's going to be upset about that. She asked one ref if it was no pack and got called with the major.
And BJ Armstrong is now on a power jam, picking up points, 5 already. This is exactly what the Lake Effect Furies needed early on in the second half of this game. And that does not look positive for BJ Armstrong. A little bit of a leap into the pink wall sends her to the box.
That's right. She
tried to release.
Tried to go through that wall, but that's a pretty solid wall up front of Tara Parton, Nashville the Smasher.
I'm not sure if she was sent for a back block or misconduct for leaving her feet, but either way, the power jam is over. Defa Caitlin is fighting her way through the pack. She has not made her first pass, so she is not scoring any points right now. And Queen City's doing a good job of holding her back. So.
That's right, Vagina Warrior, again, solid blocker up front with some nice positional work, working really well with C'est La Vie, who's having a strong bout with the stripe for the Furies. Both jammers on the track now.
So the Furies are bringing some of their tenaciousness to the second half now, putting lots of bodies, lots of hits on the ladies in pink, but Nash and the Slasher can do the same thing.
That's right. Heavy hitting now from Nash of the Smasher and Jubilee. They seem to be matching Queen City hit for hit.
That's another 4 points for BJ. Defa Caitlin did not get out of the pack, so 9 points for the Lake Effect Furies.
That's right. QT trying to get the bench pumped up now, number 52 in black.
Lake Effect Furies getting pretty pumped up on their bench. 112 for CN Power, 75 for the Lake Effect Furies. That's only 37 points.
Just coming up to the 8-minute mark of this first half. Buddy Bomber out to jam her first jam of the game for CN Power.
Once again, this is part of the depth that CN Power has in their jammer rotation. Betty Bomber on many teams would be a top 3 jammer, but she performs so well as a blocker, they don't need to pull her out unless they're having a little bit of penalty trouble or they want to just change things up. So Betty Bomber versus Ruby Revenge.
And they are having some penalty trouble. Candy Crossbones, they've just poodled her to clear her minors. And Betty Bomber getting a shot now with the star. And she's got a 3-wall to beat at the front.
Betty Bomber having a similar style to Candy Crossbones in that she doesn't dance around people, she goes through people.
She stays
Sometimes
close,
over
fights her
people.
way.
That's going to be lead jammer. Ruby Revenge from the Furies is 30 feet back. Bomber looking to score points before she has to call it off. No block being called on Ivana Leiro. Bomber through.
And Betty Bomber now, again, another late call.
Bomber a little too excited, doesn't get around to calling it off.
Oh, and she doesn't call it. She looked at her bench and didn't call it. She's going to go for maybe the 4 more to make it worth
Right
it.
now it's 4 to 4 on this jam. Bomber's going to look to get the points now. Calls it off before she can hit the pack.
Does she get any points?
And no, she does get a point. She picks up 1.
1 point for Betty Bomber.
So a little miscommunication on the part of the jammer and CN Power bench, but it worked out for CN Power, picked up 1 point. Bomber does the job, kills some time on the clock, and CN Power retains her lead, 117 to 79.
Yeah, just coming up to 10 minutes now in the second half. 118-79 Lake Effect Furies slowly chipping away at that lead in the first 10 minutes of the second half.
And we are going to have a very slow start as everyone's on their feet at the jammer line.
That's right, and I'm not seeing Power now actually killing the penalty for the Furies.
Looks like Rebel is going to move out front and cause the jam to start. Bambi on CN Power.
Oh, and
Bikini
Jubilee.
Wax. Picked off by Jubilee.
Jubilee having a very strong second half.
And Bambi showing that amazing agility and able to stay on her feet as she goes around turn number 2, picking up lead jammer all the way around, showing her speed and picking up points already. Bikini Wax does get out of the pack, but Bambi is scoring. Wow, Bambi getting cycled to the back again by Vagina Warrior. Bambi trying to call it off. She does get the call.
Another late call from CN Power, though.
We have penalties being issued after the whistle. Looks like Tuesday Hula going for another trip to the box.
So another late call from CN Power. They're getting a little late on their calls. Maybe just trying to take some risks. But with the Lake Effect Furies chipping away at the lead, you might not want to do that.
It's a little early to be killing the clock, I think. It's really not a huge lead that they have.
121-82, 19 minutes remaining in this WFTDA bout here at the bunker in Toronto.
Defa Caitlin going through at the front. BJ Armstrong being hung up at the back by Mia Culprit.
Nice hit from Mia Culprit. We have not seen Aston Martini much in the second
Mia
half.
Culprit going to be picking up a major for low block, but it does look like Defa Caitlin has lead jammer.
Lake Effect Furies jammer being called for a minor cut there.
Defa Caitlin picking up points as she cruises through the pack. PJ Armstrong's got a ways to go. Defa Caitlin calls it off with a quick 4 points. That's what CN Power needed. Get things back under control.
And CN Power now trying to tighten things up a bit, just get those 4-point jams. As mentioned, Aston Martini usually on that line that was just on. She has not played yet in the second half. She did suffer a slight injury at the Quad City Chaos. So perhaps that is flaring up again. She had a very strong first half, too.
That could be. Looks like we've got Candy Crossbones fresh off of her cougaring trip to the box, coming back with the star, and she's going to be against Ruby Revenge. This is a matchup that happened a lot in the first half. Candy coming out on top most of the time. So.
And again, the split walls.
Vagina Warrior, captain of the team, showing why, meaning business out there.
Sometimes you just need to get in the way. But
we
Vagina
had
Warrior
a
now
no
in the
point,
box.
no pass, no penalty on Ruby Revenge, so she does not have lead jammer.
And it looks like Candy Crossbones is not lead jammer as well. We're going to have a full jam.
So now it's going to really be down to the pack. Who can control jammers?
She is. The referee hesitating. She is lead jammer, but the Lake Effect Furies have already scored. A miscue from the jam ref there, giving 4 points.
Candy might as well try to pick up some points here, saying as the Furies already have 4. She does call it off. Looks to her jammer ref, picks up 2 points, so a 4-2 jam in the favor of the Furies. Unfortunate that the lead jam call was a little late, but Candy made the best of it,
That's right.
narrowing
And
the gap.
the refs do have to contend with these massive pillars in the middle of the track, which do offer some challenges for sightlines.
Sure enough. Every once in a while you'll see a ref-on-ref takeout as they cruise around that corner, not realizing one of the refs has stopped on the other side of that padding. So
Bambi out there again.
jam underway. Looks like we've got
Bikini Wax.
Bikini Wax versus Bambi.
Slow start again as both packs have a skater in the box.
And CN Power in no hurry to get this thing started as they do have the lead at the moment.
That's right. And Pantyhose just
Day Tripper with a big hit on Pantyhose, knocking her over the line, starting the jam. Both jammers released. And it looks like Bambi is through for lead jammer.
Another
Bikini
lead
Wax.
jammer for CN Power. And Bambi has a full track lead now.
Bikini Wax hung up on Dinah Hercha. Last line of defense gets around her. But Bambi's already in the pack picking up points. Oh, and Bambi goes down hard. Not happy with that hit.
No, she is not Bambi.
Ivana Lay out, getting sent off. Bambi calling it off before Lake Effect Fury jammer Bikini Wax can hit the pack. 2 points for Bambi.
127.86 now is the lead coming up to the halfway point in this mark. This second half getting a little chippy. Both these teams very even so far in this half.
That's right, halfway through. 41 points between the teams. Lake Effect Furies have to start thinking about how they're going to close this gap so they can make their last push in the last couple jams of the game. So CN Power getting things started quickly on a knee at the jammer line. Big hits by Jubilee, Tara Part, and Marmighty. BJ Armstrong hung up.
Caitlin able to fight through that 2-wall to take lead jammer. CN Power is winning those scrum starts so far. And
BJ Armstrong dragged to the back by Jubilee again.
Really strong half by Jubilee continues. She and Betty Bomber, two home team teammates with the Death Track dolls, working well together.
Deffa Caitlin is through the pack, picking up points. That looks like...
It looks like Deffa Caitlin was going to try to draw a penalty or feed her to the pack.
That's a solid 5 points. So that's a grand slam for Deffa Caitlin. Natural grand slam, passing all 4 blockers and the jammer on Lake Effect Furies. So.
And that increases the lead now to 46 points. 132.86 for CN Power. 14 minutes left in this one. Lots of derby left to be played.
Lots of time left. You can make up that in 2 jams. But Lake Effect Furies are going to need to pick up a couple lead jammers. Perhaps a power jam to start closing this gap.
That does continue to be the difference. The lead jammer, CN Power, getting it. And, of course, controlling the jams.
Yeah, it seems even when the Lake Effect Fury jammers get out first, they're getting out without achieving lead jammer status.
Right.
Not passing all the blockers legally on the way through.
Dinah Hercha up front now, trying to provide some offensive help for her jammer, Candy Crossbones, and Candy Crossbones lead jammer.
Ruby Revenge trying to get out before too much damage can be done by Candy Crossbones, who has lead jammer status right now. So,
and a nice job by Dinah Hercha and Rebel Rocket just to hold her off.
Ruby Revenge is out, but so is Candy Crossbones, calling it off and picking up 4 more points for the CN Power, stretching the lead a bit more.
Good fight. A good fight by Ruby Revenge, though, to get through that.
Oh, sure enough. 50 points between the teams right now.
136.86, 12:51 left. This is the first part of a doubleheader here at the bunker. Death Track Dolls and the Gorgo Roller Girls coming up in a home team bout following this game.
We've got on the line Bambi versus Bikini Wax. Bikini Wax jamming for the Lake Effect Furies, having a very strong first half.
And Bikini Wax gets through, but CN Power, Nasher the Smasher there to meet her. Bambi, though, being recycled at the back of the pack.
And Bikini Wax is lead jammer. This is what the Lake Effect Furies have been waiting for. However, Bambi sprints out of the pack, is looking to chase Bikini Wax down. 40 feet back, 30 feet back, closing quickly. Bambi's quick.
Yeah, and Bambi may be small, but she broke through that wall. She's getting fired up, I think.
And Bikini Wax calls it off. Does she call it off in time? No. 3-3.
3-3. Nice job by Bambi to get through, get caught up, and pick up points.
with 12 minutes left in the half, 12 minutes left in the game. Lake Effect Furies need to buckle down and start putting some points on the board. Close this gap.
Caitlin back out there against BJ Armstrong.
BJ Armstrong.
Looks like we have 3-3 packs.
And everyone's looking to clear the penalty box. Looks like they want to lay her out.
The Furies get the first. And now CN Power will try to kill some time here. Dinah Hercha, Lady Gaga doing a nice job holding that blocker. And actually, Lake Effect Furies blocker doing the best thing, probably going out of bounds there to create that no pack, and it worked.
It did work really quick through the pack on the outside. Bikini Wax picking up, BJ Armstrong picking up lead jammer. Defa Caitlin making her way through too though, so BJ's gonna have to hit that pack quick, pick up her points, called off, get another jam going.
That's right, Defa Caitlin making up a lot of tracks. CN Power trying to pace this.
CN Power racing to the front, trying to protect their points, trying to stop BJ Armstrong from picking anything up before Defa Caitlin, who is in the pack and scoring as well.
Right,
BJ calling it off.
And Defa Caitlin steals one, 2-1.
2-1.
It's 142 now, 91 is the score. Defa Caitlin happy with that 1 point. And we're noticing the game now shifting closer and ever closer to that jam line. But both teams refusing to take a knee.
Ruby Revenge facing off against Candy Crossbones yet again. And no one on the knee, so looks like we're going to have a slow start. Oh, Lake Effect trying to take...
Maybe not.
Trying to get the jam going, but... And unfortunately, Tuesday Hula picks up a destruction of the pack penalty.
And they did spread that pack out nicely, though, so that Candy Crossbones just has Vegina Warrior to beat, and she does. She is your lead jammer.
We've got a 4-2 pack advantage for CN Power.
Lots of penalties racked up quickly for CN Power there. Marmighty with a nice job, one-on-one.
And we've got a cut major on. The jammer for the Lake Effect Furies, Ruby Revenge.
It was a 4 minor pickup, it looks like.
That's not what they needed. Candy Crossbones picking up the most points in the first half, getting an opportunity to do some laps on a power jam.
And so power jam now for CN Power. They have been brutal on power jams so far.
And that's a clean sweep, 5 points, grand slam, and she's getting a wave on. Keep on rolling. She's got almost a minute left in this jam, so she can pick up a lot more points still.
Candy Crossbones having a phenomenal bout, and it will continue here. A dead pack as she approaches on this power jam. Nice one-on-one blocking again from Vegina Warrior. Marmighty going to try to help her out. She is out of play.
Looks like no pack situation. Gonna have to let Candy Crossbones go. She gets through for another 5 points. But that was some good work on the Lake Effect Furies, though. They managed to slow things down. Took them more than 30 seconds to get through that pack. So.
That's right. C'est la vie breaking a trap, and again, Furies so good at breaking those traps.
Candy looking a little tired. The Reverend on CN Power trying to get her calling off before the Lake Effect Furies jammer could get out of the box. Unsuccessful, but we've got a timeout. CN Power wanting to talk things through with 8 minutes left in the game.
And CN Power again taking the momentum back. The first real break in the second half. It's been tight all the way through, and now CN Power increasing their lead a bit more, 157 to 91 with 8 minutes left.
65-point lead with 8 minutes to go is fairly sizable. It's not like you can't come back from that, but again, the ladies from Buffalo are going to have to really pull something out of their magic bag. Otherwise, they may see themselves on the short end of the score. So, looking to see who's got penalty trouble. No one's really that badly off. Tuesday Hula on the Lake Effect Furies is at 4 majors right now, but other than that, no one has more than 3. Again, a surprisingly clean game.
That's right. Yes, and the penalties are very spread out too, which is noticeable, which is saving anyone from getting into any sort of trouble.
And that doesn't mean it hasn't been a hard-hitting game. There's been lots of bodies being thrown around.
That's right. Just very clean hits by both teams.
Yeah, I just think it shows the skill of all these ladies being able to throw their bodies about without being able to, without being sent to the box. So.
That's right. And that's one thing I've noticed a big difference between the game these two teams played in the fall is that CN Power is not being pushed around as much. They were physically overpowered. Despite winning that first game, they were physically overpowered. And I'm not seeing that as much tonight from the Furies.
Looks like Dinah Hercha is taking the line for the first time as jammer for CN Power. She's against Bikini Wax. Dinah Hercha, a very physical jammer, fires her way through, gets lead jammer. The Bikini Wax is still stuck way at the back of the pack. Looking for a whip now. Last line of defense is Bomber, unable to stop her.
She couldn't hit Wax down.
But Dinah Hercha picking up the points. She's through the pack, calls it off. 4 quick points. Looks like the timeout worked well. Dinah Hercha doing what she was put out there for. Yep. Score 4, call it off, get the next jam going.
That's right, give some support to her jammers. You've been talking about the depth of the jammer rotation on CN Power, and they're able to do that to rest some of their jammers.
Sure enough, that was their 6th jammer that they put out during this game, and all of them have had success. So.
That's right. And 161-91 now is the score, so CN Power again, 70-point lead. This is the biggest lead of the game.
BJ Armstrong, Defa Caitlin on the jammer line. Again, a slowish start at the beginning. And looks like we get a no-pack situation. Jammers are released.
Looks like Defa Caitlin is your lead jammer, but so Caitlin getting physical.
That's a jammer war. Defa Caitlin showing off her speed.
And there is an awful lot of black at the back of that pack for Defa Caitlin to score on.
Oh, Defa Caitlin with a sideways slide through the pack, picks up 2. BJ able to pick up 1 as well. But Defa Caitlin winning that race and winning the jam.
That's right, but Defa Caitlin upset that she gave up that 1 point. Somewhat of a perfectionist.
Actually, she'd be pretty impressed at how she managed to squeeze 2 out of that. So.
That's right. So 5-on-5 now. Penalty boxes cleared out.
6 minutes to go in the game. Candy Crossbones again versus Ruby Revenge.
And this could be, if CN Power can hold on here with 6 minutes left, this could be a big statement game for them against a really tough opponent. And again, another opponent slightly ranked above them. CN Power now just killing time in this bout.
Stretching and bridging their way along, preventing the jam from starting. And it looks like we have a start.
And a very stretched pack though, but they reset quickly, both packs coming together. It's a dead stop, and Candy Crossbones gonna fight her way through the front wall.
Candy put at a complete stop by the ladies in black. Ruby Revenge being hit by Pantyhose. Candy Crossbones on the outside, gets lead jammer.
Nice work by Hoser and Dinah Hercha together to get Candy Crossbones through.
4th minor to Pantyhoser. Ruby Revenge getting out the front, but Candy Crossbones picking up points.
Oh, and a nice offensive block by Dinah Hercha.
Springs her jammer through the front. She gets all 4.
So CN Power very calmly weathering that sort of pushback from a very excited Lake Effect Furies about midway through this first half. And now with under 5 minutes to go, it's 167-92. Bambi back out there on the track against Bikini Wax. Bikini Wax, I believe, is still the leading scorer for the Lake Effect Furies this bout.
I believe that's true.
4.5 minutes to go. 4-3 pack advantage for the Lake Effect Furies.
We have too many skaters on the track for the Lake Effect Furies.
Has no pack advantage. Sorry.
Cutie had to be sent back to the bench because they had 1 blocker in the box.
And once again, Vegina Warrior doing her stuff, but couldn't hold back Bambi forever, and Bambi is your lead jammer.
Bikini Wax calling for her blockers to slow down, gets out the front of the pack, but Bambi is right there scoring points. Big hit by Nasher. And Bambi calls it off again. CN Power really putting down the hammer in the last 5 minutes of this game.
CN Power
another 4 points.
Really holding it together well. There was quite a pushback by the Lake Effect Furies. They had a power jam. They were pumped up and fired up. But CN Power very calmly showing a certain level of maturity and their ability to calm their emotions, keep focused, and keep this game in check. 3.5 minutes left now. 3-2 pack advantage for CN Power. This is not what the Lake Effect Furies need right now.
And we've got a timeout for the Lake Effect Furies.
And they're going to call a timeout.
So I know that the Furies are ranked higher in the Eastern region, number 15 in the Eastern region, and Toronto, CN Power currently number 17 in the WFTDA North Central region. However, if you look on some of the stats aggregators out there, Derbytron currently has CN Power at number 35. And they have the Lake Effect Furies at 75. Flat Track Stats, on the other hand, has CN Power at 42. And the Queen City Ladies at 63. The Flat Track Stats did predict that CN Power had an 85% chance of winning this game, and it looks like...
But it was supposed to be tight, if I remember correctly. It was supposed to be much tighter than this.
Fairly tight, yes. I mean, it was around a 2-to-1 ratio, which is fairly close to where we are right now.
Oh, okay, all right.
So it may be almost bang on. We'll have to see.
Yes.
We still have 3 minutes and 20 seconds left in this game, but...
I thought it was a little tighter, but yeah, it's
I know
impressive performance by CN Power.
Sure enough. I know as a Derby nerd, you probably are a big fan of the stat sites, as I am. I have a tendency to read them far too often.
Yes, yes. Spend a little too much time. Although I do have to admit that I try not to get too caught up, because I know that they don't always reflect the WFTDA rankings.
That's correct.
All right, and we are off again. Timeout is done. Defa Caitlin now facing a black wall at the front.
BJ
Armstrong at the back.
Stuck at the back. Defa Caitlin getting lead jammer. BJ Armstrong is out of the pack. She's got half a track to make up, but Defa Caitlin is scoring points. Time is ticking off the clock.
And Defa Caitlin gets her 4 and calls it just in time, 4-0.
Yeah, 4-0 for Defa Caitlin, following the instructions from her bench coach. 175 for CN Power, 92 for the Lake Effect Furies. Very impressive showing by CN Power during this game.
That's right, 2.5 minutes remaining. And one of the things about Flat Track Stats that kind of put CN Power in an awkward position is they had a huge win over Derby City, but it was a Derby City team that had gone through a lot of lineup changes and were probably shouldn't have been ranked as high as they were, and that kind of inflated CN Power's stats.
That can happen. Things always smooth out over time, and I think CN Power has proven that they are a team to be reckoned with so far. Again, they're putting a real stamp on their bid for the North Central Regional playoffs, if you ask me. Candy Crossbones getting through the pack and lead jammer.
I just noticed that C'est La Vie is jamming for the first time this bout. She's had a very strong bout in the pack, number 44 in black for the Furies.
And she's got a big smile on her face, and that's great to see at the end of the game. That
I'm sure she is enjoying Nasher the Smasher, though, doing a job on her right now.
Candy Crossbones skips through for 5 points. C'est La Vie out the front.
C'est La Vie is right on her tail now, about 20, 30 feet back. Candy's going to kill some time.
And she does call it off. Little miscommunication, I believe her.
Yes,
I believe the Reverend wanted her to slow things down and kill the clock a bit. But we are down to about 1 minute to go in the game. 1 minute and 14 seconds right now. 180 for CN Power, 92 for the Lake Effect Furies. I think we can safely say that CN Power will take this game. Very impressive showing. Lake Effect Furies, again, I've been impressed by them tonight too. The chaos that you sometimes see on the track with them has been very disciplined tonight. I just think CN Power has been playing their game a little bit more, and CN Power really has taken control of this game, especially with their jammers. So.
That's right, and Fury's still making a few minor mistakes, like not getting this jam started, which is exactly what CN Power wanted. Only 38 seconds left in the game now.
It's little details like that you need to work on during your practices. And we got Dinah Hercha back on the line. The 21 versus 21.
That's right, the 221's out there. And Dinah Hercha in her second jam, it gets her second lead jammer.
This probably should be the game. There's only 20 seconds left. She should be able to kill the clock.
And that will officially close out this game. All that we need to know now is what will the score be.
Bikini Wax does get out, but Dinah Hercha is already through for 4. Looks at the clock. 5 seconds to go. 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. Waves to the crowd. She can call it. She calls it. That's going to be a big win by CN Power.
Huge win. 184-92. It looks like that will be our final. The jam. We'll wait to hear from that. The jam refs are talking to the scorekeepers.
That's a total doubling up right there. That's again very impressive by CN Power. The last time they faced off back in October, it was only a 10-point game. 129 Queen City, 139 for CN Power. So the difference that CN Power has made in 6 months is really impressive.
That's right, and holding the Lake Effect Furies to only half of their point total from the first half, so a strong second half from CN Power.
CN Power doesn't really have any more games at the bunker coming up anytime soon. They've got one closed game against Ohio. They're going to be at Brouhaha, ECDX, but it's been a great day of Derby.
That's right. It will be a while until you can see CN Power here at the bunker, but there will be action elsewhere. All right, well, Captain Lou Obama, again, thank you for joining us here in the ToRD TV crew.
Derby Nerd, it's been lots of fun once again.
That's right. So we are going to call it about right now here from the bunker, Downsview Parc. On behalf of the whole ToRD TV crew, thank you for watching. I'm the Derby Nerd. Have a good night.